Okay, so Victor Wembanyama looks like he's going to the Spurs. The chances of him not getting drafted number one, I think he'd have to have a serious injury before the draft in a month, which isn't happening. Okay, so let's look at one, how this happened, and two, the outlook of the league now that we kind of know where he's going. So this happened because when you want a deep dive, Kawhi Leonard leaves the Spurs, demands a trade in the summer of 2018. Gets traded to the Raptors for DeMar DeRozan. Now, at the time, the Spurs still had Manu Ginobili, had Tony Parker, although they were both really old and almost done. And they had LaMarcus Aldridge, and that was basically their team. And they had like Patty Mills and some good role players, whatever. But that was pretty much it. They were able to make the playoffs that next year in the first round, but they lost to the Nuggets. I believe it might have been 6 games, 7. I'm not sure. But yeah. So basically, that's the origin of how this all started for the Spurs, because since that 2019 season, they haven't made the playoffs. I think they made the play-in once or twice, whatever, but basically this team hasn't been good. They had DeJounte Murray trying to like carry that team for a little while, and even he couldn't do it. And that's when the Spurs were like, look, we really need to blow this up, because if we have DeJounte Murray, we'll always be that like 10th place team that's drafting like number 7, number 8 overall, and that's just not good enough to like, get us out of this hole. So these last couple of years, they've been really tanking. And honestly, before the draft lottery happened, I was texting with one of my buddies, and I just was like, the Spurs need this the most. They're not necessarily a team I like root for, but like honestly, I don't want a single team in the NBA to be a team that I'm like literally has no players that I actually would want to watch. Like if the Spurs were on TV the last like 2 years, or I guess this last year, especially once DeJounte Murray was gone, this whole year, I don't care to watch like Keldon Johnson. I don't care to watch like Vassell. Like I don't. These guys are fine. They're role players. Like Keldon Johnson may be. I heard someone say like he may end up being a third best player on a championship team. Maybe someday. I like his game, but he can't be your best player, and he really can't even be your second best player. He's just not that good. And that's why the Spurs were so bad this year, is because not only did they not have any like real like good starting players, they really didn't have a bench at all. It's just a bunch of like guys that kind of deserve to be in the G League, to be honest. So for me, need wise, the Spurs, like the Rockets, at least have like Porter Jr. and they have Green and they have Jabari Smith, who I know Jabari Smith had a rough rookie year, but the guy still has promise. So they got that. The Pistons at least have Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. Bogdan Bogdanovic is still there. So, like, I'm saying, like, they at least have some NBA players on there. The Spurs had, like, nobody. So, when we look at this, now that we've gotten to it, so Greg Popovich said he would retire after Duncan retired. That's not happening. And now I'm like, okay, he's going to stick around to coach this guy up. I do think this is a good spot for Wembanyama because of the previous French players like Tony Parker and Boris Diaw that have played there. But, yeah, my takeaway is this was honestly probably what was best for the league. The Spurs now have a guy, and they can build around him. And now you pretty much every roster has at least one guy that you're like, that guy's either going to make an all-star team or has a chance to or has already. So, yeah, I really like it for that reason. And as far as like how quickly do I see the Spurs actually being able to build off this, it's still going to take time, because you're going to have that initial rookie year of how good is this guy, and then you're going to have like maybe the second year, once they see he actually is good, if he's not super raw, they'll be like, all right, let's see if maybe we can start to build around him. I could see kind of a Luka Doncic thing happening. I'm not saying he's that kind of player, because Luka's obviously ball handler, controls everything, but if this kid is like putting up 20 something points per game in his rookie year, I could see them going, okay, we got to take advantage of him being on a rookie contract and see if we can bring some guys in, whatever. San Antonio needs more than this, so I'm kind of thinking they're probably going to try to tank again next year, keep the roster bad, try to pair Wembanyama with one more, like another great player, top prospect, and then from there go, okay, let's see if we can get some pieces around it. So it's kind of like a process 2.0, but this stuff about like Adrian Wojnarowski saying that like, oh, Wembanyama, like people are saying like he might be the best NBA prospect ever. No, he's the biggest like freak as far as attributes ever, and his ability to shoot and dribble and all that kind of stuff. But no, because anyone that's built like that is not the biggest. LeBron James is the best prospect ever, even better than like Shaquille, because LeBron can do everything on the court, isn't built like a stick figure, and obviously had the ability to put on muscle and has never gotten injured. That's the thing. LeBron, he's gotten injured, I guess, since he was with the Lakers. He's been injured a few times. But overall, LeBron stayed healthy like 17 straight years, 16 straight years, something like that. So No, LeBron's the greatest prospect ever. He's a greater prospect than Michael Jordan. He's a greater prospect than even Shaq. Shaq had a period where he was super dominant, but the problem with the big guys is that you are almost guaranteed that they either don't age well or, they're going to get hurt. Lower ankle injuries, foot issues, all that kind of stuff, knees, all that stuff is going to get bad for them. LeBron, it hasn't really, he's still playing pretty good at year 20, so no, I don't agree with that sentiment. This kid, as great as he looks, like Chet Holmgren was looking great last year, and I know he's not as big as Wembanyama, but Chet Holmgren got hurt in like a pickup game or whatever against LeBron. I get it, like it's LeBron, but no, I don't buy all that. I think this kid has a chance to be special. Maybe it's someday once like the guys that are on top right now kind of like phase out and get older. Yeah, I could see him being the face of the league and being great. We need to calm down on this stuff because he's still unproven. So, yeah, we got to see how he does in the league first. But anyway, that's my quick thoughts on the Wembanyama draft. Nuggets won game 1. I honestly felt better as someone that's rooting for the Lakers in that series. I felt better because the Nuggets shot it seemed like 75% from 3, and the Lakers only lost by 5. So if I'm the Lakers, take a lot of good stock in what you did. I know once they switched Hachimura onto Jokic, they had a lot more success. So I think the Lakers, and I know people would be like, this is crazy, but I think they honestly could possibly win in 5 games. Like, they won in 5 games in 2020, and granted the Nuggets are better now, but I don't know, man. I just think if you shoot that well and you only beat a team by 5, good luck. Good luck trying to replicate that, because I don't care who you are, where you're playing, whatever, how great of shooters you have. Like, the Warriors couldn't, in their heyday, they couldn't, duplicate a night where they shot, 75% from 3. They wouldn't get that back that easily. So, anyway, Celtics and Heat just happened. I know the Heat, they won tonight. I didn't get a chance to actually watch it. I was preoccupied. But anyway, I'm looking forward to rewatching that. I know my Celtics lost, but anyway. That's it. If you guys would like more NBA coverage, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and should be coming at you with the podcast here in a couple days with the boys. Have a good one.